to me, he's one of the people that is the bustle and the world outside and the changes are a little too much, and I think he finds the little cocoon to wrap himself up in, much like the cardigan he wraps himself up. He wraps himself up with these records because they give the world where he knows, he's smart, he's aware of all the parts of it and dynamics and specific information about it, and like he says, it takes him away, so it's his escape.
Well, drowsy, I guess back then supposedly sort of meant like tipsy. And so I do whatever I can to look as drunk as possible throughout the entire show. No, I don't really, but it's fun because I almost always have a cocktail glass in my hand.
My initial involvement with the Drowsy Chaperone goes right back to the sort of the birthplace. Well, there's dubious different birthplaces, I guess, but back in Toronto, Ontario, the original Robert Martin and Janet Van de Graaff were the two character newlyweds in the show. We're getting married, and we, instead of giving him a lap dance, we decided to put on this little show, and it was the Drowsy Chaperone musical part of the show. So a whole bunch of comedy friends, people who were part of Second City and the comedy world in Toronto, got together, put on the show for them, and he came up and gave us notes, and then we all had a beer, and then it was after that that we did it at a Fringe festival in Toronto, and that's when Bob Martin stepped in and brought the man in chair device along to kind of frame the musical and give it a context.
It seems like you're seeing a whole show, but it really isn't. I mean, I think if you took the man in chair out, it would be, you know, a 40-minute show or something. So no, I mean, it really isn't. The only way it really works is the way it's framed.
I've watched it sort of grow and go through different incarnations and different, and look different. I mean, definitely when it came to New York, where the first time I saw it after it was in Canada, it was a different show. I don't want to say it was Broadway eyes, but the production values and the choreography and the spirit and the movement of the show was a completely different animal. It was really, really impressive.
Then we stumble away through dawn's blinding sunbeams, barely knowing right from right, no left from wrong. But as long as we can hear that little bluebird will be our song as we...
I've never toured before. This is my first tour. The daunting part of it was leaving my family, you know, because it was my daughter's final year in high school. So that was the part of it that was a little tough, trying to sort of weigh the family responsibilities and everything, and you know, sort of feel like you're away at a really long spa weekend and you're not quite sure whether that's the right thing to do. Should I say that? Oh, my family's going to be so upset with me. They're going to think I liked being on tour better than being home. Don't tell anyone.
I love it. I hate personal surroundings. Whenever I've had an apartment, I've never tried to make it my own. So the idea of living out of a suitcase and living in hotels fits me like a glove. And I'm Canadian too, so this is my first introduction to the United States, so I bought a little Instamatic camera which has 36 exposures, I think, and we're going to 35 cities. So I get one photo in every city. So I get a good time just sort of trying to find where my photo is going to be in each place that we go to.
You're an accident waiting to happen.
That's right.
A catastrophe destined to be.
That's me. I'm the rags in the cellar.
A broken umbrella.
A branch hanging loose from a tree.
I can see myself jumping and clapping for a man who lives dangerously.
I'm an accident waiting to happen.
So hurry and happen to me.
It's funny because a lot of people run up and say that that's me, and I think a lot of people get a personal connection to the show because they can see it through the eyes of the man in chair. And a lot of people who love musicals and find a little sanctuary of listening to their vinyls and their old recordings, you know, they'll really you know, they'll side along with that.
It's sort of like a Valentine to musical theater, you know. And I think if you love musical theater, it just has a great feeling.
I always say that this musical is sort of, it's the best musical for musical lovers, and it's the best musical for musical haters, because you really do get this old style musical for the people that know it and will recognize all the characters and the plot devices and all that kind of frothy 20s stuff, which is great. You also get a different perspective, which is sort of a modern, slightly cynical perspective on those shows, and so you really get it. They build it well by saying it's a musical within a comedy, because it's his story and it happens to be about this musical, and you see the musical come alive, and it's, you know, they say it's for everybody, but it really is a show for everyone.
That sweet refrain, I do in the sky. When clouds are standing on their own, the bees and daffodils sigh. But heart beats rush with sweethearts blush. I do. In the